Thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching iBrand Daybreak. Now it's time to delve into the social media world and definitely what's buzzing. Perpetua Fasomi Peter is here to give us an update on what's buzzing on social media.
Hi, Pep.
Hello. Good
Looking
morning.
beautiful and radiant.
Pep,
I don't know how to please teach you.
So what's buzzing?
Well, a lot of things. Thanks for the compliment. I do appreciate that. Well, so many things.
So you did not hear my own compliment?
No,
Wow. Opposites really do attract.
It's
fine, guys. It's fine. Let's go.
All right. Hello, it's Social Media Buzz on iBrand Daybreak. I am Perpetua Fasomi Peter. Well, this is about Nigerians. Nigerians have reacted after singer and songwriter Timi Dakolo performed at Atiku Abubakar's presidential declaration. The event was held in Abuja on Wednesday, and there the former vice president declared his interest to run for the office of the president in 2023. As part of the event, Timi Dakolo sang one of his songs titled Great Nation, and this has sparked mixed reactions from Nigerian troops. While some criticized him, others defended him by saying he was only doing his professional job and not endorsing the politician. While it will be recalled that many troops tracked some ex-Super Eagles internationals for accepting Tinubu's invitation during his 70th birthday celebration. Well, here are some of the tweets condemning Timi Dakolo, and we'll start with the one from Dr. Dakolo. Dr. Dakolo says, Timi Dakolo will not be cancelled because he performed at a PDP-related gig. If it was for an APC candidate, online thugs would have started abusing his entire family. And Walabosi, Onisonu, I'm an Igbo girl, so she's a Yoruba.
That's amazing. You did well with that.
Alabosi means someone who is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Okay, what's Onisonu?
Onisonu, well,
I think they are related. They are brothers.
I think they're related.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have this one from Everest. Everest says, if you collect 5 million naira to sing for a candidate that you do not trust, you're not different from the poor man or woman that collects 5,000 naira to vote too. We have to stand upright in this country. You support Timi Dakolo, but you berate Pastor Taribo West. Samson, what's your take?
Well, let's put into perspective.
Okay.
Did people really berate Taribo West for supporting Tinubu or for the statement he made regards bloodshed and all of that? Let's put it in perspectives, really. Again, people have, the liberty to support whatever candidate they like. The first comment you read talked about professional, duties that Timi Dakolo simply went there to do is to carry out his profession. Now, if he's principled and it decides this is a stance against, within the political sphere, that he's not supporting a certain candidate, then he has every right to turn it down. What if he supports Atiku as his presidential candidate? So will you say he shouldn't perform there, even beyond, the aspect of carrying out his professional duties? Again, there's the place of, he just went there to perform. He didn't declare support.
Absolutely.
That's one. There's also the place of, what if Atiku is actually his preferred candidate? Is he wrong to support his candidate by performing at his candidate's, declaration ceremony?
I think the issue
that's
here,
one.
okay.
Just to wrap up, that's it. Then the issue of, trying to juxtapose that with Taribo West, I don't think people really had issues with Taribo West supporting Tinubu. It was that statement that had to do with bloodshed or bloodlet, as it were.
Well, to a very large extent, I think people were also against the fact that they feel that they supported or endorsed Tinubu. It wasn't just about that statement.
Why do people, especially those on social media now, have issues with certain people supporting their candidates?
Well, because a lot of people, I think the young ones especially, I'm young also, but a lot of young people on social media feel that these are people who have always been there and they are the ones who have run us aground and we shouldn't continue supporting them. That's like, the understanding, basically. So if you're perceived to be going away or deviating from that, you're going to be perceived as an enemy.
And then a lot of people also believe that these particular old
guards who needs to be taken out of the scene and have new blood
have this this trend of coming back and then using the youth to get their ways. And then also on the other end, they believe that our entertainers, the celebrities, are the ones who should be speaking for the common man. Because as it is now, when you go to social media, the people who are speaking up, people like Kate Enshaw, people like Rinu and all of that, the celebs, what's this comedian's name?
Mr. Macaroni.
Mr. Macaroni. These are the people who are speaking up. And so you'd recall there was a time comedians went to visit, was it Oshibaju now?
Yes, at the villa.
At the villa.
Oh,
and then they came, you know, they came out on them, Twitter
but really,
people.
should we do that, knowing that these are individuals who also have their preferences? Your preference shouldn't be my preference.
It's about liberty. I mean, again, as I asked earlier, is it a crime? Is it a sin? In terms of being
you know why
legal?
adrenalines are high at this time? It's because these particular people, you know what happened October 2020?
Quite all right.
Exactly.
Yes,
So the
so
a
lot
Atiku
of
wasn't part of that, you know, contingent.
You don't have to be part of it. As long as you have been in power before, you didn't speak out. Okay, I think he spoke out, actually. But also, you have to look at it this way. So someone like Timi Dakolo is someone who holds a huge ground when it comes to the social media, when it comes to his niche, that's the singing, the music industry. So a lot of people expected that if he's going to perform there were a lot of actors who supported President Buhari back then during his campaign and all of that, and the pictures are still resurfacing now. And so when you look at all of that, they're saying that if you're seen to be performing at a campaign declaration of someone like this, then in some way it passes a message across that you're supporting the person, which is not wrong in itself.
Well,
but people are looking at the fact that we don't want the old guy.
It's your decision, not my decision.
The fact that anyway, the majority of youths may not want these guys does not mean certain youths won't want them.
Exactly.
So, but he is not even saying, I don't want him. He's just saying, well, I'm getting paid. I'm making money.
Well, let's continue. You know? It's not all sticks and bashing for Timi. You know, some people do not have a problem with what he did. And here's what some of them are saying. We have Sharon saying, this is how he makes his money. So what were you expecting him to do? And another person, Little Butterfly, says, so if they invite you to come cook for political gathering as a caterer, you will not go, Abi. Now that's a question for a lot of us.
They invite me to MC, I will go.
Do you understand?
Do
you understand?
I mean, again,
I'm just doing my job.
It's my job.
It's easy
the
for
most
people.
important thing is I don't endorse you. I mean, it's just professional.
Yes.
Even if you endorse, it's a personal thing. It's liberty, freedom of choice.
Well, for the media, it wouldn't be right.
It wouldn't be right.
No, I'm saying for these folks, you know, the performers now, not for us. I mean, the fact that maybe a Banky W would support a youthful president does not mean a Timi Dakolo should also support the same person. The way a Banky W, for example, has freedom to make a choice for his preferred candidate, Timi Dakolo also has the choice or the freedom to make such a choice. So I really find it difficult when you're bashing him in this regard. There's the place of he did his profession, you know, he carried out his professional duties as that, person said. Yeah. There's also the place of he has the choice or, you know, the freedom to support his candidate. And guess what, guys?
Breaking news. The same people who are coming for him will ask for 2K, urgent 2K. But give away. So really, what are we saying?
But there's a part where, you know, I don't even think it's necessary because, I mean, our conclusion basically to a very large extent is that it's nobody's business. Whoever I support is my business and I'm at liberty to support whoever I want to support. Let's move on to the second story.
On the law.
Exactly. Okay, to the second story. The Nigerian police force has begun an investigation after a Twitter user shared a video showing an officer arresting him for not having a tinted glass permit in Ikeja, Lagos State. Okay, and then the Twitter user claimed he was made to part with 20,000 naira as a fine for not having a permit. Now, this comes a few days after the acting police spokesperson, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, informed Nigerians that police officers are not to demand a tinted glass permit. Adejobi, via his Twitter handle, stated that the permit for tinted glasses has been suspended since June 2021 and wondered where officers expect Nigerians to get it from. He described officers who asked Nigerians to present a permit as deviants. Now, the police complaint unit also disclosed that an investigation has now been launched. Let's watch the video first.
No problem. I'm attaching my own opinion, and I'm saying, okay, yes, we are talking, we are not. I'd like you to please use your seatbelt.
I use my seatbelt. You are a suspect.
Of what exactly?
For you to not have your tinted glass permit.
Okay, it's tinted glass, so I'm a suspect.
Yes. We have our modus of operandi of arresting people. So you not using, we arresting you for we not to use our tinted permit for seatbelt. It's part of our modus. Ordinarily, you're supposed to wind down your glass. You may be...
I just told you why I don't do this. I just told you it's not
My brother, stop playing beyond gallery. You are dealing with a professional. Every act and everything you are doing,
I
understand you more than yourself. Don't worry. I think I'm true with you.
I just told you why exactly I cannot turn off the AC. You say you have an issue, okay? I can reduce it, or I can turn off the...
All right, and then we'll take the comments from Nigerians. We'll start with Matthew Edeche. Well, Matthew Edeche says the urge for corrupt money override their caution against it. The few that know about the directive consider such illicit dealings as very private and unknown to the higher authority that could query them. Majority of them bask in irredeemable ignorance of operational guidelines and policies. Also, we have Olumide Fawaimi saying, I said it before that they, that's the policemen, will never agree with the Inspector General on this. From Shagamu to Benin, they mount roadblock with logs of woods demanding unknown papers from travelers. They see the uniform as a means of making money. Some of them are even fake. And we have Baba Mugba Ayode saying the entire police force needs total overhauling, orientation and reform. Just to know their primary assignments and constitutional duties. This will curb insubordination and nonchalant attitude towards the orders made by the authority. It's in the news that no police officer should ask for tint permits and custom papers. Well, these are the comments of Nigerians. You want to react
But
to
even
that?
the windows are not tinted from the video we just saw. So where is the tint permit request coming from?
Well, you never can tell. Maybe the window is down or something. Maybe they didn't wind it up.
But, well, I saw it was up, but that's not even the issue. The issue now is that a lot of instructions come out from the authorities, the police authority. Sometimes they'll tell you, if any policeman is trying to ask you for anything, make sure you're recording and all of that. But when you get on the road where the thing is happening, it's a different scenario. So many times they dole out instructions. For instance, this one now, don't ever allow any policeman to ask you for things permit. But eventually, what's happening on the road? So it looks like there's always a lack of synergy when the police are issuing these instructions.
Well, there's the place of disconnect, as you've said, from the top down to the various commands, where it seems that whatever authority comes from the top is not adhered to, or whatever order is aware. Now, there's also the place of certain bosses also infringing on those orders. Now, you have reports that some of the atrocities the policemen commit on the roads are based on the instructions by their bosses that they have to remit certain amounts on a daily basis, or they need to do this and that. We hear of all of these reports. The rot within the police system is probably unthinkable in that sense. And when you talk about, police brutality, this is one of the forms. It's not just, the physical assault. There's the financial exploitation that, to look at. There's the verbal abuse. It's in various shades and forms. And again, it brings into light, the issue of the NSAS protest or movement, as it were. It wasn't just about the SAS units of the police force. It could have started from the SAS unit, but it transcended to the police force as a whole in terms of overhauling the personnel, those who are corrupt amongst them and those who are not, worthy to even don the uniform of the Nigerian police force. There's also the place of reevaluation, training, and all of that, because it seems they're not used to the 21st century way of policing, and these are issues that needs to be addressed within the police force. So to give orders, from the top is not the issue. It's about how the order is, how it trickles down, how it is adhered to when it gets down to the various commands and divisions.
But it's also sad that nobody is really brought to book.
Because the question is, whose job is it then to ensure that these instructions are followed? Because if the IGP has given an order, it is expected that every formation will, they'll align and ensure that all the officers adhere to these instructions. And then, another thing, you were saying something, you're smiling, but you were saying something earlier about the fact that maybe they've turned some of those places into money-making agencies, and that's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a revenue-generating agency. It's for security of lives and property, and that is what is expected. So when the use of a thing is not followed, abuse is inevitable. And that's something I believe that we really need to work on. It's not a revenue-generating agency. The work is for the protection of lives and property, and that is what they should face.
But also, the heads should roll. people should be brought to book. If you are found flouting the order, you should be brought to book to serve as deterrence to other people.
Exactly. We'll end it on that note. And now we'll go to the third story. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, condemned the gruesome murder of an Ebonyi lady who demanded her own share of her father's inheritance. The single lady, Nenaya Ono, 35, was allegedly murdered and burnt alive by her assailants, as there have not been any record of their arrest in the state since the incident occurred. She was allegedly beaten, stripped naked, dismembered and burnt alive in Onitsha Iweze community of Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State. Well, we'll just take 3 social media comments before we speak on this matter. It's actually a very sad one. We'll start with Mr. Rob Michael's comment. Mr. Rob Michael says, this is barbaric. The police should do their work for once. Why are they waiting for money to start arresting all the suspects? And Elfrida_Frida says, humanity has reduced to 0. It's so heart-wrenching. Rest in peace to the deceased. I think we'll just take these 2 comments. Sad one there.
It's really a pathetic story.
Very.
That she demanded her rights, and then she ended up in the grave. This is not the first, I want to believe, because there are so many that have happened that have been swept under the carpet. And so the police must take this up and ensure that they see to the end of it, so that those who need to be brought to book are brought to book. You know,
it's so unfortunate because this particular matter had been reported to the police and nothing was done. Now, this thing happened on the 23rd of December 2021. Until now, nothing has happened. And then the mother of this child, the mother of the late lady, is saying that she can't even progress with, wanting justice to be done because she does not have money to pay the police to do their job. And that is quite unfortunate, because you would expect that with this kind of thing being reported, that even the commissioner of police would, there'll be a standing order, a marching order to ensure that this particular matter is brought. It's annoying that this matter is attended to.
I mean, it's difficult. This story really brings into light, so many angles of discussion. Now, you talked about the mother rather of the late lady, talking about not having funds to even pay the policemen to do their job. So she doesn't have funds to pay the policemen to carry out an investigation. Is that the right thing in the first place? Again, this is part of, the exploitation of, we're talking about within
and
the
one
police
would
force.
expect that the government should actually take this up, because
Exactly.
I mean, this is not something you leave to a family. It's something the government is supposed to take up.
And it's ridiculous that policemen or the police are yet to even investigate the matter, or have not come to at least
after 3 months.
After 3 months, because there's more to this story than just asking for inheritance and she was killed. Remember, the story says she was stripped, beaten, dismembered, then burnt alive. That's too extreme. I don't want to look at the gory, pictures, but that's too extreme, all in the name of just asking for an inheritance. It's more like there's more to the story than we have, in our hands.
You're still talking about this story. There is also the report that even the brother was also died mysteriously years ago. So it brings to question just like you said, what exactly is happening. And we also have reports where the assailants, that's the people who committed this atrocity, actually barred anyone from providing information or even sharing pictures online, because I think people had the pictures of what happened, but they were barred from sharing or assisting in investigation or doing anything at all to bring this.
Are powerful people? It raises so many questions beyond being powerful. Again, as I said, what would seem like the extreme is someone asks for an inheritance, oh, this is a stumbling block, and then you kill the person, which ideally is wrong in every form. But to the point of being dismembered and burnt alive, that's extreme. It speaks of more. And that's why you would expect that the police, should be
spring into
all hands on
and,
deck, should investigate this, because I don't want to believe it's just about the inheritance that would lead to that point.
Well, I think this is the much we can take at this time.
Yes.
Well, thank you for staying with us on this segment.
Amen. 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 Amen.